Okay, and welcome back to Slushie Review. This is Keith Anderson.
And Chris Richards.
And today we will be talking about Star Wars Episode 1, Phantom Menace. Good movie. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see.
There was a pause there.
We will talk about it.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening. We definitely appreciate it. Make sure you follow us at Slushie Review on Twitter at Slushie Review. You can also check us out on YouTube. Just search Slushie Review. We pop up. We're the first result. And then check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Google Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. And also, coming soon, Instagram. Follow us on IG.
The gram.
At Slushie Review Podcast.
Yes.
We just started it. Need some followers, need some likes. So, let's just get right into it. Let's start with the plot.
Oh, boy.
Young Chris.
All right. Before we start this,
Okay.
I told him I was going to... I didn't tell Keith about this, so this is a surprise for him. All right, here we go.
Okay.
I'm self-conscious. I'm not going to do the whole thing.
Damn it.
A long, long time ago,
Yes.
in a galaxy far away, Naboo was under an attack. This is Obi-Wan's perspective. I thought me and Qui-Gon Jinn could talk the Federation into maybe cutting them a little slack. Dun, 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 dun. There's the piano. Well, their response, it didn't thrill us. They locked the doors and tried to kill us. We escaped from that gas, met Jar Jar and Boss Nass. We took a bongo from the scene and we went to Theed to see the Queen. We all wound up on Tatooine. That's where we found this boy. And that's the movie. That's I only bumbled it a little bit.
Bravo.
I heard it this morning when I was getting ready for work. I saw my Spotify random, and I heard it, and I was like, I'm going to do this on the podcast, and I'm going to make an ass of myself.
Bravo.
And I did it. And I was like, man, this song's kind of long, so I'm not going to do the whole thing.
Bravo.
Thank you.
I love it.
I was driving one day, and American Pie came on. Piece of shit song.
Yeah, it's not a good song.
No, it's really not. So long.
And it's like 10 minutes long.
It's so much longer than Weird Al's version because I kept singing the parts. I was like doing it over it as it went, and I was like, oh wait, no, there's like way more songs.
There's like 4 or 5 different.
There's there's like 4 or 5 more lines of American Pie than there is of The Saga Begins, and Weird Al's is way much better.
So much better.
Huge shout out to Weird Al Yankovic for doing that song and just for doing himself, doing everything that he's ever done. Everything. Without him, we wouldn't have the intro to this episode. So.
Oh, Christ.
So at the least, we got that from him.
Yeah, that's fair.
But so where the song leads off, Qui-Gon Jinn has a gambling problem, and bets all kinds of things on Anakin winning a pod race. Surprise, he wins. Frees him from slavery. Not his mom though. Couldn't finagle that one.
Can't get them all.
Takes Anakin back to Coruscant to present him to the Jedi Council to see how good the boy could be.
Yeah.
And Yoda sensed in him much fear.
And it works out.
And for some people,
end story.
Yoda sensed in him much fear. So Qui-Gon said, now listen here. Just stick it in your pointy ear. I will teach this boy.
Oh, man. I don't know what to say.
That's the plot.
I'm shocked.
I feel like you knew what I was going to do as soon as I started it.
Literally no idea. I had no idea. I was surprised.
I even practiced singing it on the way over
That's
here.
funny. That's funny. No, by the way, love that song.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah, no, I had no idea that was
It's
going
even
to
better
happen.
when Weird Al does it.
Well,
Not
yes.
by much, but
Well, maybe a little much.
I think I got it.
No, I think you did fine.
I got it.
I think you did fine. But also, Weird Al.
But also, I'm terrible at it, and I should never do it again.
10 out of 10 when you do it. 10 out of 10 when he does it.
Aw, so it's even.
I don't want to compare the two.
So it's even.
But if we compare the two.
You're Weird Al Yankovic, right? Yeah. You sing The Saga Begins. That's right. I've sung that. Yeah. So are you better than me? Well, I've never heard you sing it, but yes.
Yes.
Yes, I am.
Exactly. Oh my. Oh my. Okay, so that's your plot. This is your king.
Yeah, that's what I'm going with.
No, that's fair. Makes sense. So, for those who don't know, this is not a standalone movie. This is the first movie out of, did we say 11 movies? Because we're doing Solo, and we're doing Solo and Rogue One.
Yes.
So out of 11 movies, it's the first episode. So, and if you don't know, I don't know where you've been under a rock, maybe. But obviously, the 1 through 3 are the prequels.
Yes.
So, but we're gonna go in order, as opposed to going the way it all came out.
Yeah.
Because going in order is just so much better.
Yeah, because if you go the way it comes out, you get the original, then the prequel, then a couple of the in-betweens. Or then you get the sequel, like the first sequel, and then I think you get a couple of the in-betweens, and then you get the next two of the sequels. So let's just, if we're doing it in numerical order, I think that's better.
Actually, I think it went...
Or like timeline order.
Yeah, but I think it went Force Awakens, Rogue One, then Last Jedi, and then Solo, and then Rise of Skywalker. I don't want to do that.
So people had plenty of time to be pissed.
Yeah,
in between those movies. They had a whole other movie to bitch about in between each movie that they were bitching about.
One thing we said that we were going to say, and I'm just going to go out and say it, the worst critics and the worst people for Star Wars are Star Wars fans.
Except for us.
Because we're obviously
we're exempt from our own criticisms.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because I like it, because I like Star Wars.
Yeah,
I just like Star Wars.
I like liking it. I'm going to try to keep it all as positive as I can, because a big part of the podcast is dislikes. I'm not going to make it personal.
Nothing's perfect. Well, there's a couple movies that have been perfect for me.
Yeah.
But Star Wars isn't perfect by any stretch of the imagination.
No.
I feel like if you make 11 movies, 2-3 TV series,
at least,
you're going to mess up somewhere.
A Christmas special,
a Family Guy,
some comic books.
Yeah, you're gonna mess up
a ton of video games, a card game, action figures. You're gonna piss people off.
You're gonna mess up somewhere, so it's not gonna be perfect. Unlike where if you make one movie like Megamind, and it could be perfect, or Scott Pilgrim, it could be perfect because there's only one.
And you go out on a high note.
Exactly, you go out on a high note. There's always gonna be a lull somewhere.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. Either way, what am I doing? The cast?
Yes.
Cast. Okay. There's some people in this.
There's so many people in pretty much all these movies.
Yeah.
But a lot of them are only known for these movies.
Also, that is very true.
For the most part.
Yeah, now that you say that, no, you're absolutely right. So I'm going to try to keep it short since there's 1,000 people in this movie. Literally.
Are you going to sing the cast?
No. No, not at all.
Come on, I did my thing.
Yeah, well, we'll just leave it. We'll leave it with you.
Okay.
Just what you could do is correct me on some of these names because I am lost.
We'll see.
Okay, first off, the star of Taken, Liam Neeson, Ra's al Ghul. Ra's al Ghul, if you're Gotham. He played Qui-Gon Jinn. He was great as Qui-Gon Jinn, to be honest.
Yeah.
I liked him throughout the entire movie. I was going to say the entire series. He was not in the entire series.
Not till the last one.
He was... Was he back in the last one?
His voice. You get a voice clip of him, and if you haven't seen Rise of Skywalker yet, just keep listening.
No, he does another voice in 3. Doesn't he? Doesn't he say something to Obi-Wan?
I know they.
Or did they
mention
just
him.
mention
They
him?
mentioned him like,
Okay,
oh, a
maybe
way
that's
to
what it
reconnect
is.
with your own master, with your old master. You
Yeah,
could possibly
right.
we could have, but yeah. But in Rise of Skywalker, when they're playing all the voice clips, you hear
Yes.
Yoda, you hear Samuel L. Jackson, you hear Liam Neeson, you hear. I think it's Ewan McGregor. I don't think it's I don't think it's Alec Guinness, or do they do both?
I don't remember because
But
I was
Alec
watching.
Guinness is dead, so they couldn't.
Oh well,
They could have like I don't know synthed it or something. I don't
there's
know.
that.
Spoiler alert: an old man died a while ago, a long time ago.
So,
In a
so
galaxy not so far away.
okay, so Liam Neeson's Qui-Gon Jinn. Ewan McGregor is Obi-Wan Kenobi. Did we already have a movie? Oh shit!
Yeah, unfortunately,
Damn it. Why did I have to remember that?
he was the bright spot in that movie, though.
He was though.
'Cause I forget what it was Roman something, the Black Mass.
Yeah, the Black Mass
Roman
and Birds of
something, I
Prey.
can't
Go listen to that episode. We trashed that movie.
We trashed that trash.
Ewan McGregor. Oh, but we also I talked about him in the Da Vinci Code movies. He
Oh
was
yeah,
in that.
that's right.
He was like a pope or something.
And he
Yeah.
was in one of my fiance's favorite movies, Moulin Rouge.
Oh, was he?
Yeah,
Never
I
seen
think he
it.
sings in it quite a bit.
I've seen the
If I remember, I only saw
video
it one
for
time.
it, but I've never seen the movie. I've seen the Itchy Itchy Gotcha Gotcha song that Christina Aguilera, whatever her name is, Pink, Lil Kim, and Maya does. You've heard that, right? Lady Marmalade?
Yes,
Yeah.
of course.
So the old one or the new one? Because the new one has Lil Kim rapping on it. The old one is just...
If that one was if the new one was in the movie, then I've heard it because I
Yes.
saw the movie, but I only saw it the one time.
Okay, I don't know if it was in the movie, but it was on the soundtrack, and that's the reason why they made the song, was for the movie.
Oh.
So, either way, okay. So Natalie Portman was Queen Amidala and Padmé. She was also in Black Swan. Oh, she was also in
And
Thor.
Thor.
Yeah.
And she's gonna be in Thor again.
Yeah, I heard.
She's gonna come back as Jane Foster.
Yeah. Huh. I don't know. She was okay in that movie.
Yeah,
She wasn't bad.
but she's gonna, she's gonna. Oh, never mind.
I don't know what that means.
Oh,
What? This is gonna be like Lady Thor or
Yeah.
something? Yeah,
Yeah.
I've heard of that. Okay. We'll see.
yeah.
We'll see.
I can't make her any less interesting.
I mean,
You'd think. We'll
you'd
see.
think.
We'll see.
Because I want to say, to be fair, she was in the worst two Thor movies.
That's
So
fair.
sorry, but if you think about it that way, that's the way I think about it. It's like, hey, was she in the best one? No, she wasn't.
No, she was kind of an endgame.
Yeah, but Renee Russo was in that more than she was,
Yeah,
and I like Renee Russo. So
his mom.
Yeah,
Yeah.
his mom. She's so great. I like Renee Russo. Either way, this isn't Renee Russo's podcast.
You think we could be on Renee Russo's podcast if she had one?
Hey, Renee.
I loved you in that one movie. What movie was it? I loved you in IMDb.
There it is. All right, let's see. Next up, fan favorite Jake Lloyd. Time that just right. He
Almost
was
drowned drinking a sip of water.
Jake Lloyd is Anakin Skywalker, little kid Skywalker. He was also in Jingle All the Way.
Yes.
Great movie.
And
Jingle
some
All the
other
Way.
stuff, I guess. I like Jingle All the Way.
No, he's great.
You
It's a great
tagged me in
movie.
a thing on Facebook about Christmas movies. I almost said Star Wars. Pick your Christmas movies. Yeah, and it wasn't on the list. And you were like,
Yes.
oh, Jingle All the Way should be on here. And I was like, yeah, it should. You're
Absolutely.
damn right it should.
You could take out at least 10 of those other
If you got-
movies, and I'll be fine with it.
Christmas Story, I hate that movie. That movie's dumb.
I know.
A Wonderful Life, I don't care.
I know.
It's a Wonderful Life. It's a boring movie.
Same.
That's what they should have called that movie.
Any movie that was on there that was in black and white, I was like, I'm okay.
Yeah, even Christmas Vacation, like it's got one or two funny parts in it, and the rest of it, I find those movies to be pretty much of like, oh, there's a couple good parts in it, and then the rest is just like, it's either forgettable or kind of annoying.
Or it's all the same.
Yeah,
Like, to me, if it's not a standalone, like, it has to be like out of the box Christmas movie, then it's literally all the same things. Like, okay, this person was bad, now they're good, and now blah blah blah. Like, if anything, one of the better Christmas movies would be what is it called? A Christmas Tale? No, what is it called?
A Christmas Carol?
Christmas Carol. That's like one of the better movies.
I always love the Mickey's Christmas Carol.
The Mickey's Christmas Carol was
Scrooge
amazing.
Or Muppet Christmas Carol, because I love the Muppets. They're funny as shit.
I've seen the Mickey's Christmas Carol. Amazing.
Yeah.
The Christmas Carol with Jim Carrey. Amazing.
I never saw that one.
So good.
That was CGI, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was all CGI.
I never saw that one, but the dude still kind of looked like an old man Jim Carrey.
Yeah, he did.
If I remember right.
No, he did. It was him, and it was so good. But like the old Christmas Carol, like the real version, I'm okay. Yeah, I don't care about that.
Give me some. Yeah. Sound like an idiot. Give me some cartoon characters, or give me some puppets, or give me something fun.
Same. So either way, again, not Christmas.
Not yet.
Close, but no, not.
But no baby Jesus.
Not enough for this
Not
podcast.
enough to be hearing Mariah Carey.
Yeah, not soon enough. Gotta wait till after next week. Let's see. All right, next up you have Ian. Is it McDiarmid? Because I don't really know his last name.
I think that's it. Like Ian McDiarmid.
Yeah. So Senator Palpatine.
Yes.
Just says Senator Palpatine here.
We know who he is.
Okay. So I told you I had some questions about Star Wars. I can wait.
Okay.
But we're gonna address those.
I'll try to answer them.
We're gonna address those questions when we get to them. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to think who else is in here that I care about. Somebody named Ahmed Best. I don't know what he's been in, but he played Jar Jar Binks. Another fan favorite, Jar Jar Binks.
So did he voice him, or did he do the mocap, or both?
I couldn't tell you because I didn't even know.
He at least had to have done the voices.
Yeah, but that's all I know about him.
Yeah,
and I really don't know what else he's been in besides that. That's like his big. Oh, he was in a show called Big Time Rush too. Okay,
I never saw it.
I've never seen it either, but I know it was a big like kids show. But yeah, he did a lot of Jar Jar Binks, and he does a lot of voice work. I can tell because he has a lot of video games on his thing, and so good for him. But that's what's up. And this was actually his first movie. He did an extra uncredited scene, but like uncredited like 10 years before this. Like he was a kid in an '89 movie that I've seen. I don't know if you've seen it, but I've seen it. It's called Lean on Me. It's with Morgan Freeman. It's an amazing movie.
Never saw it.
Yeah, it's super. It's a great movie. But he was an extra, which I'm assuming he was a kid at that point because it's about a junior high school kind of situation. So Morgan Freeman's like a principal. But then like his next credit is Star Wars Episode 1. Good for him, man. He got some money going out there.
I hope so.
He got some money for that. I like it, man. Good for him. Okay, next up. Fan favorite. 3 fan favorites. Anthony Daniels.
Yes.
Kenny Baker. And Frank Oz.
Yes.
So, in order, Anthony Daniels is C-3PO. Kenny Baker is R2-D2. And Frank Oz is Yoda.
Yes.
The reason why I brought up Knives Out to you is because Frank Oz is in Knives Out, by the way. Like his actual person.
What?
Yes. So
I gotta see this movie.
I'm telling you, got to see the movie. But either way, so I believe Anthony Daniels he's the only person who's been in all 9 Star Wars movies.
I think so.
Because he is C-3PO and he is in every movie. I think Kenny Baker isn't in one of them. R2-D2 isn't in one movie, I believe.
Or at least the numbered Star Wars movies.
Right. I just mean like the 9.
Yeah.
The 9 movies. R2-D2 isn't in one of the movies, right?
No, he's in all of them.
Is he in all of them too?
He has a very minor part in Force. He has a smaller part in Force Awakens.
Yeah, at the very end.
They pull a sheet off of him and he's in it.
Yeah. So for some reason I thought Kenny Baker, the guy who played R2-D2, wasn't in all of them for some reason. Maybe he is. Maybe he is. I don't know. Or maybe someone else plays him at some point.
There might have been someone else at some point.
Oh, okay. Maybe that's what it is. Because I know Anthony Daniels has that moniker of...
Anthony Daniels has been C-3PO in every movie, but in also like a lot of the outside media stuff like games.
That's fair.
Cartoons and stuff.
Well, this makes more sense because Kenny Baker died in 2016, so that is why he doesn't.
Yeah, because he's A New Hope.
Yeah.
Empire Strikes Back.
So that's kind of crazy.
Return of the Jedi.
So I'm assuming, the last 2, he's not in.
Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, Revenge of the Sith. Yeah.
Yeah, so he's not in the last two at least. Or wait, when did The Force Awakens come out? No, that came out a little before then, but I don't know if he was
He's not listed.
Okay.
At least on this thing that I'm looking at.
Yeah, and then Frank Oz does a voice of Yoda. He does a lot of voices.
He also used to puppet him in the old ones when he was like a puppet. Because he's he's done other things.
Yeah, he has.
He's done like other puppets. Yeah, Fozzie Bear.
Yeah.
Yes. He's been Fozzie Bear. He's been Bert Grover on Sesame Street. But mostly Yoda, I think, is what people know him from.
Yeah, that's fair.
Cookie Monster.
Absolutely. Let's see. What else we got? Okay, we have Ray Park. He's Darth Maul. Something that Chris pointed out while we were watching the movie, Warwick Davis. He is a spectator in the crowd. He also plays two other people in the show, in the movie.
In the same movie?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
He has 3 different credits.
Yes, he does.
Good for him.
I only saw him in one of them.
Well, yeah.
Because there might have been heavy makeup or other things in the other ones.
Not last, but maybe last but not least, Samuel L. Jackson.
Yes.
Is Mace Windu. I don't know what else to say about Samuel. You might have saw him in some things, maybe. Let's see. Oh, and then Keira Knightley, she's also in the movie.
I didn't know she was in this movie until just now when I was looking at the list.
Yeah. Oh, I thought we talked about that.
I don't think we did.
So I know. So there is a point in the movie where even the director says that you can't tell if the queen is Padmé or if it's Keira Knightley.
Oh.
There is one point in the movie where you can't, and I can never find it because I'm like, so which makes me believe it like, oh, I don't know.
Okay.
Because you can't really tell which one is which. And then Sofia Coppola is also, I think, also a stand-in for the Queen Amidala as well, which is obviously, I think he's like the granddaughter of Francis Ford Coppola, probably like niece to Nicolas Cage. Hello.
Say, there's another one in here. There's a Roman Coppola in here also.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah,
can't be sure. But yeah, so they talked about how this is, I don't want to say this was Keira Knightley's first movie, but this was like one of her first movies, and she wasn't really as big yet, you know what I mean, in as far as movies go. So I was like, oh, okay, cool. Because then in the second one, the second or third one, it's the second one, Rose Byrne is also in the Queen's like entourage thing. You know who Rose Byrne is?
Oh, the name sounds familiar.
She was in Bridesmaids. You ever seen Bridesmaids?
No.
Oh.
I've heard it's good.
Okay. I don't know what else she's been in. I know what else she's been in, but I don't
sounds
know.
very familiar, but I wouldn't be able to pick her out.
She was in, I don't know what else. But yeah, so let's see. That is it. That's all I know. I don't know anything else. I don't know anyone else that's been in a movie.
There's a couple small people on here. They're like small parts.
Yeah, I saw like Greg Proops.
Yes, I know him from Whose Line, and then Peter Serafinowicz. I know him from he was in the Shaun of the Dead. He was the live action Tick in the one that Amazon came out with.
Oh, okay.
He's been in a couple other things, but that's mostly what I know him from.
Okay. Oh, I know that guy.
Yeah, he was in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, he did the voice for Darth Maul.
I guess, yeah.
Or he was Darth Maul?
I think he was him in like probably some scenes, or maybe. Or maybe
Weird.
he was the voice, but he was in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yes.
He's the one that's like, what a bunch of a-holes, or I forget if he says a-holes or assholes in the movie. It was like, what a bunch of a-holes.
Yep. Yeah, that's what I was say. That's where I know him from. He just, he seems familiar. Either way, ton of people in this movie.
A lot of people.
It is what it is. Okay, let's get to the bread and butter of this thing. Likes. Do you want to go first or you want me to go first?
Oh. You go first.
Okay.
Because I know I've always regretted it, but I really want to hear your likes.
I don't think we may have some same likes, but I know we don't. I don't know we have all the same likes.
Yeah.
I know that. It's not going to be like the other movies.
No.
Because I like some stuff that I already know you don't like.
Ooh.
So let me just start off with the first one.
Let's do it. Oh.
First
thing you know I don't like?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yep, first thing I know you don't like.
Oh, I know what it is.
Which one is it? Say it.
It's gonna be Jake Lloyd.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not him as an actor.
No.
Okay.
But him as young Anakin.
Him as young Anakin. Okay, let's just talk about it. And now I'll ask my questions as I go along with my likes. I also have questions for my dislikes too, which may change them into either or. To be fair, it would, because if I don't know, I don't know.
Okay.
So what I wrote was, "Are you an angel?" I just think it's so funny. I think that line is hilarious, and it's like out of nowhere, and it's like reminiscent of a kid who doesn't know what to say, or it's just a weird situation.
Yeah, it is it's a very childlike, like innocent line.
Yeah. And I love it. And I'm just like, that's so funny. That's a cute kid. Like at that point, and I don't like kids, but I'm just like, oh, look at this kid. This kid's hilarious. But let's talk about Jake Lloyd for a second. Me personally, I don't hate this kid. I don't hate his portrayal of young Anakin Skywalker. And this may be because I watch different podcasts and different videos on YouTube where they talk about him, like in a good light. And I think that's what really got me, like, unless I think you did bad in a role, which I don't think you did bad, then there's no reason for me to dislike you. I might dislike your character, but I'm not going to dislike you as a person for playing this character.
Yeah, it's also hard to say, like, oh, that kid did a bad job acting.
Right.
They're a kid.
Fair. So, to me, when I see Jake Lloyd as Anakin Skywalker, I'm like, okay, he's conflicted between good and bad, where he grew up a slave, where he lost his mom at a young age, not even like dead, but just left. He hasn't been with anybody but his mom. So I know people in my life who grew up with only their mom. So that's like their best friend. And so I can understand him leaving a planet, let alone a city, leaving a planet and being distraught about how their mom is doing. And I think he really played that, like, oh, you miss your mom. And he's like, yeah, I do. He's like, well, you got to be mindful of that. It's like, no, I don't. Like, I understand he wants to feel his feelings. He's upset. But as a Jedi, or to become a Jedi, you have to put all those feelings beside you. And in the other episodes, they talk about how don't be sad you lost somebody. Well, I'm going to be sad that my mom is dead. Like, right. So it's really, so to me, I think Jake Lloyd played it perfectly, where he is good-natured, but he also has a dark side. And I see that every time I see this movie. And I'm like, okay, that's fair. That's not what made this movie whatever it is. It's not what made this movie good or bad. I think he did a good job. Okay. That's me personally. But my likes isn't Jake Lloyd. It was just that line. But my dislike isn't Jake Lloyd either, so to be fair. Okay. Let's see. Okay, I'll tell you what I liked and why I liked it, but I'm wrong. I know it's funny. But I wrote the trade dispute battle. So like when the very beginning of the movie, when Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon were, they pulled out their lightsabers, they started fighting the droids, and they were kind of like running away. The fact that Qui-Gon Jinn put that lightsaber through the doors, I think that's just so sweet to me. I don't know why, I just love that part.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. He just like melted that door because he could.
Yeah, because he was just like, okay.
He was like, I have a laser sword.
Yeah, like there's nothing you can do, whatever. Yeah. And then like just that whole situation is just really interesting to me. And what I wrote down, it set me up for an adventurous movie. I was wrong. But that's what I wrote, because that's what I thought. When I first saw it, I was like, this is about to be good and not boring. Yeah. Okay. My next like of the movie, Darth Maul. And I'm sure that's probably one of your likes, but that's everyone's like.
I mean, why not? Yeah, exactly. He's everybody like, because he's cool.
He is cool. He's the first person with a dual saber.
Yeah.
You can't get any better than that, honestly. So I'm like, okay, the only way you can get better, in my opinion, is in the second one, and you bring out 6 sabers. And it's like, okay. General Grievous, I love it. So yes, Darth Maul, that's my guy.
He also proved that idiot kid right, or proved him wrong. No one can kill a Jedi.
Yeah, well also.
Until this guy. Until this fucking guy.
Also. And also General Grievous, he kills a couple Jedis. Either way.
Yeah,
a lot of people killing Jedis, to be fair.
A bunch of clone troopers kill a bunch of Jedi. Some of the worst shots in cinematic history are taking these people out.
I love it.
Just through sheer numbers and close range firings.
I mean, if you're going to get it.
Or like blowing their ship up when you're in it.
That's fair. Hey guys, let's go. Like one scene was like, all right. They're like, wait,
they're like, we're gonna stay back here.
And then
hey guys, what's going on? Shot.
Oh man, that's the thing. Here's the thing. This is what I thought. I was like, we're gonna talk about one episode, but we're gonna talk about every episode. Every episode.
I feel like every episode we're gonna talk about every episode
because they matter. They do matter.
They all. Elements of almost each one overlap so much, or at least each trilogy. Like maybe not necessarily every movie, but like every trilogy, like they're gonna get stuff blowing over
for sure. You have to. Let's see. When Qui-Gon Jinn says, and this is why I haven't said anything about it, because it was one of my likes. So when Qui-Gon Jinn goes, "There's something about this boy." I wrote Weird Al. It is by far, it is either one or two, and I wrote that early on. And so when you were like, Weird Al, I was like, listen, I'm not going to say anything. Because that's like, okay, guys, throughout the movie, me and Chris were watching, and I was like, I'm going to say that for the podcast.
Yeah. A few times you're like, I'm not going to say anything now. I'm going to say something later. And I was like, oh, I want to hear it now, though.
Yeah. I was like, nope. Okay, so, yeah, that Weird Al song is probably my first or second favorite song of his.
Awesome.
It's between that and Trapped in a Drive-Thru.
I love Trapped in a Drive-Thru.
Those are my two favorite songs that he ever does. Yeah.
It's so good.
It's like literally, those are like on
so
my...
ridiculous.
It's like on my playlist.
Yes.
Because like I don't like American Pie, but that was like that was one of my first. It wasn't my first intro to Weird Al, but it was kind of like it was like my second intro to Star Wars. And because when I heard that song, I didn't watch Phantom Menace yet. So I was like, oh, this is fun. So I had no idea what was going on. And then when I watched Phantom Menace, I didn't even think about the Weird Al song. So like nothing got spoiled for me. I didn't know anything. And then I was like, then I went back to the song, and I'm like, wait a minute, what?
Wait a minute, maybe Vader.
Because
someday later, oh my God!
Even with that, listen. I watch movies for entertainment. I've said this so many times in the podcast. I don't. Man, this may sound stupid, but it's fine. I don't think I knew Anakin was Vader until the third one.
Okay.
I'm almost certain.
Well, you also said you didn't really watch the originals.
I didn't watch the originals.
There you go.
I just knew the spoiler.
Why would you know?
Right. So I'm like, I think to be honest, I probably put it together because of the Skywalker thing, but also I didn't. Because again, I didn't watch it.
Right.
So I didn't know any of that stuff. This was before, movies had like overarching themes and before Marvel and all this other stuff. So I had no idea. So I'm just like watching it like, okay. What is a prequel? Because, I didn't know what a prequel was either until these movies came out.
Yeah.
So I'm like...
Because usually when people make movies, they make them in order.
Yeah. Because I'm pretty sure... Was this the first prequel ever? Because I don't know. Same. So, for me...
I would say doubtful because it came out, year like 99 or 2000?
Yeah.
I feel like somebody would have had it on something. But who the hell knows?
But then also...
I'm not a film historian.
Because if you think about Marvel Universe, you're like, there was a universe before, right? Like, what other universe? There was a Star Wars universe, but it was still in the same... But they didn't have separate movies, though. Yeah. They was just all in the same...
They didn't have all their phases.
Yeah, that too. They didn't. Up until they did.
Yeah.
So, so it's just like... So, yeah. So there's that. So Weird Al, that's a guy I love. And, I'm sorry. And Trapped in the Drive-Thru is based off of R. Kelly's Trapped in a Closet. And I love R. Kelly's Trapped in a Closet. I remember when that came out and I was in high school, it was probably the most favorite thing I've ever seen in my life. Because it was like, this is amazing. And then it kept going and you're like, what? Like, I remember, I'll never forget just everyone talking about it the day after it came out, and everyone was like, did you see that? Oh my god! And then it's like 2 came. There's a second one. Oh my! And then it's like, I can't wait until next week. And then, like, he put them out
Yeah, it
like
was,
1
like,
week after
episodic
week.
releases.
Yeah. And I was just like, this is the greatest thing ever. And then when Weird Al did it with Trapped in Drive-Thru, it was funniest thing I've ever heard.
If I can jump on your Weird Al bandwagon for a second, the only time I've gotten to see him in concert, and it was amazing, and I would love to go see him live again, the encore was all Star Wars. He finished, I forget what the final song that he did was for the regular set, and then he went off stage, everyone's clapping, and I think like a light came on above the thing. I was like, oh, he's gonna come back out. He came out in a Jedi robe. There was like 20 dudes dressed as stormtroopers. There was a Darth Vader. There might have even been a Chewie. But on the encore, he did The Saga Begins, and it was amazing. And the dude dressed as Darth Vader had the lightsaber out, and he was just like waving it back and forth. All the stormtroopers are swaying. It was amazing. I mean, the whole show was amazing, but that part sealed the deal.
That's fair.
Because, I mean, how could I not love a Weird Al concert and then a Weird Al concert with that at the end? Cherry on top.
Yeah.
Cherry on top.
Genius.
But I know I jumped on your Weird Al bandwagon because he's amazing, and I'm always gonna. If I hear someone talk about Weird Al, I'm gonna jump in. Well, I can't not.
You know what's funny? I remember the first thing you told me. You said you're like one of the first things you said about Weird Al. You're like, "It's my favorite artist," and I'm like,
He might be.
I think that's what you said,
because,
and you never counter with anyone else. You never go, it's between him and him.
Because I really like the Beatles. I really like other people. I'm like, I definitely went out of my way to see Weird Al in concert, so like, he has to be up there.
Gotta be.
I never saw the Beatles.
That's I don't think you did that.
I saw a Beatles tribute band.
Oh, okay.
One time, but I would rather see Weird Al again.
I wouldn't want to see
That's fair. I'd rather go see Weird Al again.
That's fair.
10 times out of 10, I would go see him again.
Absolutely. He's funny.
He's great.
And the funny thing is, I've always liked him because I saw Eat It, I saw Fat, I saw like all the music videos that came on in MTV days. Mm-hmm. I saw all those videos.
I never saw those.
No, I saw them all.
My exposure to Weird Al was mixtapes that my brothers made.
Oh, wow.
It was like mixtapes with Weird Al and the Beastie Boys and Metallica.
Oh, wow.
And just like random other shit. And I'd be like, who's this guy? I like this guy.
Yeah.
He's so good.
And he's funny. And he's talented.
Yes.
How can he not be?
He live recorded on a talk show his Another One Bites the Dust parody, Another One Rides the Bus.
Oh, really?
He did it, like he played it on, I forget what dude's show it was. He just did the whole thing live.
That's funny.
Amazing.
He's so talented.
He is very talented.
Because I could never do that.
Yeah, and he can rap.
Yeah,
he's
pretty good.
Play instruments. Yeah. He can sing.
Yeah.
He can do his own music. He can do it all. He can act. He was in UHF.
Well, I don't know about. I agree. I hear you.
I was gonna say, is that you saying you didn't see it or you didn't like it? Because either way, I'm not gonna blame you.
I probably won't like it.
It's a weird movie. It's very weird. It's a very.
I've heard of it, and I'm like,
it's just odd.
It's
odd.
I'm okay. Like I try to geek out, but like not that much.
That's fair.
Not on the person, but that's like more of like it's kind of like a nerdy movie, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I only watched it because he's in it.
Yeah.
And then I found out Michael Richards was in it, so I was like, okay, I'll still see it.
Okay.
I'll still see it. I didn't.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not gonna turn me off yet.
Not yet.
Not yet. I was gonna say not yet. Okay. Welcome back to the Weird Al podcast.
Yes. Oh my God. Can we?
10 episodes that were out.
Yes.
Either way.
All Al all the time.
That's funny.
The Weird Al podcast.
All right, let's see. Next like. I'm sorry, I have a lot of likes, but I mean, whatever. Darth Maul Qui-Gon fight. The first fight and the second fight. Probably my 2 favorite fights in all of Star Wars.
Ooh.
The second fight is one of my favorites. The first one, it is what it is. I just like it because it's like, oh shit, like, you know, Jedi versus Sith. You're like, that's like your, okay, again, it wasn't my first experience because I saw episode 2 first. Yeah, I saw episode 2 first. And I'll talk about that when we talk about episode 2. But I saw episode 2 first, and I saw this one, and then I went back. Then I watched 2 again, and I think I saw 3 either in theaters because I was excited. Mm-hmm. And to be honest, we'll talk about that later.
I definitely saw this one in theaters. I went and saw this with my parents. in 1999, so I was like 11.
Yeah.
I was 11 years old.
Yep.
And during the final duel between Darth Maul and Qui-Gon, and then
Obi-Wan.
very short,
Yeah.
Darth Maul versus Obi-Wan, two assholes jumped up in front of the screen with their own lightsabers and started fighting each other, and the crowd started booing them.
Fair. They should be.
And I still remember it.
They should be dragged out to the street and shot.
Should get the fuck out of here.
Absolutely.
I was like,
Who do you think you are?
Yeah, I didn't pay to see you.
Who do you think you are?
What gives you the right?
What gives you the
What gives
right?
you the
Like,
right?
what do you
No.
think this is?
I didn't come to see you.
I did not come to see you.
No.
Not even a little bit.
No.
And unless you got real lightsabers,
No.
then I don't care.
No. They were those shitty, like,
Exactly.
you
The
flick
plastic,
it and they extend and they lit up, and I'm like, oh, you're
stupid.
trash.
You're trash.
You're trash, Brock.
Yeah, exactly.
Get out of here.
No, but yeah, the second fight is definitely one of my favorite fights of all of Star Wars. Simple, like that's it.
I mean, it's really awesome.
Yeah, it's so good. It sucks that Qui-Gon died, but hey, somebody's got to go.
He was a better fighter.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's fair.
And then that gambling problem getting in the way.
Okay, and so I wrote this after the fact, but I'm gonna put it with it. Duel of the Fates.
Yep, the
I think
song.
it's called. I have that. Okay, literally, it goes like this. It goes just in music in general. For me, my favorites, it goes Kanye West, Beyonce, Duel of the Fates, Sweeney Todd, Weird Al Yankovic.
Yes, he made it.
That's where it is. Because those are just my absolute 5 favorite things that I can listen to
Nice.
any day of the week. Wait, I said Sweeney Todd. Also Scott Pilgrim.
Hey.
So there's that. And not even Scott Pilgrim really, but more Sweeney Todd than Scott Pilgrim.
Oh.
Only because Sweeney Todd, they sing what they sing in the movie.
Mm.
So it reminds me of the movie more.
Yeah.
As opposed to Scott Pilgrim, they talk in the movie, so that doesn't come through the soundtrack.
Yeah.
It's just the songs. And so it reminds me of the movie, but it's a little different. But yes, Duel of the Fates is up there.
Incredible.
Honestly, so is Darth Vader music too.
That too.
I can listen to that.
John Williams, man.
Listen, you ain't gonna tell me. I like this guy.
Duel of the Fates, I think, is Tyler's favorite song ever to have ever been composed by anybody.
I'm not saying I
And
disagree.
I'm not going to tell him he's wrong.
Listen, if I had to think about it, that's probably one of my most memorable, like if music starts playing,
Yeah.
it's like, if it's that, I'm like, oh, I know what that is.
Yeah, I'm going to sit up and
I'll never-
notice. I'm going to pay attention.
I'll never not know. Like, you could put that in, like, an episode of, like, MASH, and I'm like, wait a minute. And I don't watch MASH. But, like, it'd be like, oh, is this MASH? Oh, okay. And like, wait a minute.
Jamie Farr about to cut somebody in half?
Please. I'll watch MASH from now on. That could be, literally, that's just my favorite. It is really, it's so good. And I know that comes with the fight.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. So, there's that.
It's not a bad package deal right there.
Literally, it's not. So, okay, last one, and then we're going to get off Keith's legs. And this is a quote, and I wrote it down, and I say it all the time. And by all the time, I don't say it all the time. But
When you think of it.
yes. Honestly, if anybody says any of the words in this quote, then I start thinking about it. Fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hate. Hate leads to suffering. That's just my favorite.
Is it wrong?
Not at all.
No.
And then he goes, I see a lot of fear in you. And I'm like, these kids are about to suffer.
Yeah, and they do. Well, I don't know if they suffer.
Yeah, they don't,
die.
but they
don't
know.
suffer.
Yeah.
They do die.
So,
Man, Yoda.
Yeah.
Gotta love him.
Yeah, you do. So, okay, I'm off of my likes. Those are my likes. I just like that last quote.
It is. That's pretty good.
Likes for you, Chris.
Number one, because as soon as the movie starts, John Williams, the music,
Fair.
it's iconic.
It is.
You hear that, you know what it is. You know what's coming. The Star Wars theme.
Yeah, and if you don't like Star Wars, you kind of know the music.
Yeah, you still know it.
Yeah, for sure.
But you better like it because it's good. but like his soundtracks for all these movies are legit. His soundtracks for the Indiana Jones movies are legit. Like his orchestrated music is so good. It's incredible. Duel of the Fates, the fact that it goes along with that awesome fight is great. The one, and I'm failing as a Star Wars fan because I can't think of it right now, the one that goes along with the Anakin Obi-Wan duel in Episode 3. We'll get to that when we get to
Mustafar?
that. Incredible.
Yeah.
It only adds to the fight would still be great, but when you add the music onto that one is my number one fight. When you combine it all in Star Wars, that's my number one fight in Star Wars. When you combine the fight with the music,
that's fair.
Gold, solid gold.
To be fair, he must have been absent that day for the pod race.
He will get to that one. Second, I like the Gungan City because we touched on it in the Aquaman episode.
We did.
I think you touched on it in the Aquaman episode,
Absolutely.
and I was like, I'm going to pay more attention to this because this is the movie of these movies that I can't say it's the one I've seen the least because I've only seen Rise of Skywalker one time when I saw it in the theaters.
Okay.
This is the one that I have kind of the worst recollection of, I'd say.
Yeah, skipped over
because for one, I've only seen Rise of Skywalker once, but I saw it within the last year.
Yeah. This
is the first time I've watched this one beginning to end in a couple years easily.
Really?
Easily.
Wow.
Yeah.
I did a Star Wars thing during the quarantine.
Yeah, I remember you telling me that, and I was like, man, I should do that too, and I didn't. But I did watch.
But you were working, so I get it.
Fuck it, I don't care.
Also,
but I did watch Solo. I did watch Rogue One again. I was like, these are so great. But the Gungan City looked so good. Yeah. It was because I remember it being so much because it was dark. Like it was very dark down there. Because that's the part that leads me to think this has to be like the bottom of an ocean or something. Because the first time I saw this movie, I was like, oh, it's like a lake. What? Why is it all the way? How is this hidden? Because they're like, oh, hidden city. And there's, we said it during the thing, like they had to have been swimming for a while. Yeah. Because as soon as they go under, they do that trademark Star Wars like screen wipe. And then, oh, they're there. Great. Yeah, because you don't want to watch like 40 minutes of them swimming. Which, why would you?
Of humans struggling to swim with aliens.
But instead you're going to watch about 20 minutes of pod racing with almost no musical accompaniment. And we'll get to it. We'll get to it when we get to it. The Gungan City I thought looked good. Mm-hmm. It was like the water was so dark and the city itself was like just like not even like bright orange, but that it's just like glowing orange underwater. Oh yeah. And it stood out. It helped it stand out so much. It didn't do like the Aquaman things did where everything was like super bright and everything was a different color. It just did blue and orange and it worked. It helped. The one stood out really well against the other one, and I know that I'm bringing up traumatic memories for both of us by saying that. But
fuck, I didn't think you knew it. I was like, don't laugh. As soon as you said it, I was like, I didn't even think about it until just now.
The word I'm going to say it, but no, like those colors they like stand out when you put them against each other.
No, they do
because they're not complementary colors because that would be green and orange. I think if I'm remembering the color wheel, it is. It's red and blue. It's red and blue, green and orange, yellow and purple, if I'm remembering my schooling correctly. But still, like you put those two colors next to each other, like they help. One of them helps the other one stand out depending on how it looks. And I thought the Gungan City looked really good. Yeah. And even when they went into it, it still kept that like dim, like mood lighting thing going on in there. Like they didn't get in the thing and it was like bright, like it was daylight. It was still like you could tell that they were pretty deep underwater and they weren't trying to be, hey, look at us. It's super bright. Anyone can find us. They're like, okay, I guess it's a hidden city. Didn't seem hidden to the audience, but it probably seemed hidden. If I'm looking for a city in the ocean, I'm not going to find it.
No. Well.
So I'm guessing that's similar to that.
Probably not.
Next, is a twofer. Probably my two favorite Star Wars characters, R2-D2 and C-3PO.
Of course.
They're in all the movies. They're the only ones to be in every numbered Star Wars movie.
Fair.
Because they're so good and they just help draw everything. They are what draws all this together more than Luke and Vader and all that.
They really are.
They're the ones who they live the Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
R2-D2 was like some random droid on a ship that saved everybody's life. And they're like, hey, we should keep him around.
So now that I'm thinking about it, R2-D2 was on Amidala's ship.
Yep.
So he's originally from Naboo.
Yeah.
And C-3PO is Anakin's droid.
He builds him on Tatooine.
Right. So, yeah. It kind of connects everybody.
They're my two favorite characters in the universe.
Yeah.
They they're just that, like, they bitch at each other like an old married, or C-3PO bitches at R2-D2 like they're an old married couple, because you can't understand R2-D2,
Right.
but, you know, he's like, oh, beep, beep, boop, boop, boop. I do not sound like that. Like, it's so good. I love Anthony Daniels as C-3PO, and we'll get to them more as our episodes go on, but they're my favorite characters, sassy little R2-D2 and old British man C-3PO who never wants to go on any adventures.
It's funny.
And always gets dragged on the most dangerous adventures.
Yeah, when he goes, they'll never get me up in a spaceship. I was
Yep. Like, you're going to be flying one in like 2 episodes.
Right.
But yeah, and because in this one he doesn't have the gold. He doesn't have the golden shell on him. He's just exposed circuits and wires.
Yeah.
And I thought back then I was like, that's a cool look.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure he was just a puppet in that one, because you could see through him unless it was like a green screen suit with Anthony Daniels in it. I want to say it was mostly animatronic and puppety, because it still looked kind of like fidgety. Like, I'm pretty sure when he moved, like, his arms were like jiggling a little bit, because it wasn't somebody in it. I think it was puppets, but so good. 2 favorite characters, and they're probably going to be likes in every episode that we do.
Oh wow.
Next, like Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yes.
Ewan McGregor. So good.
He is good.
Easily the standout character of the prequel trilogy for me.
He gets better.
Oh, he only gets better.
Yeah, he only gets better.
In the prequels, at least.
Fair.
And then because it's not him in the original trilogy, he's not as good.
He's really not.
No.
Yeah.
He's just the old guy who teaches
Everyone
him
loved
stuff.
him, too.
And, yeah. He didn't do much.
Well, yeah, and he died kind of whack.
Yeah, he let himself die. Like, it's like, symbolic death, whatever. He probably could have helped him more wielding that lightsaber alongside Luke, rather than talking in his ear for 2 more movies.
That's fair.
But, everybody, I don't know.
I guess back in the 70s,
can't please
like,
everyone. And supposedly Alec Guinness hated that he was in those movies at some point. Whatever.
It's like Han. I was just like, how can you hate what you make the most money? Stop doing it then.
Right.
But you like those
I
checks.
mean, if you sign a contract and then you do the 1 and you're like, okay, well, I signed a contract to do 3, and you do the first one, you're like, man, this sucks. You're on board for 3.
Or break your contract and get the money back.
Yeah, it's a bummer. But yeah, if you really hated it that much,
yeah,
don't come back for another one.
That's what I tell
40
him,
years
like,
later.
dude, if you hate it that much, then why are you collecting checks?
Don't come back for another one 40 years later.
Yeah, fair.
But whatever. I mean, I'm saying I like Han Solo.
Yeah,
We're not there yet.
No,
but
not yet.
But Obi-Wan Kenobi, he's such a good character. Because I didn't realize until this watch through, because you and I talked about Star Wars. I forget if it was another episode or if it was just us jibber jabbering in between takes. Because we do multiple takes. We do it all live. It's all uncut, unedited.
Live to the audience.
You were talking to me about how Qui-Gon was a master, but he wasn't on the council. I never realized it until you told me that, and then we watch it this time, and there's that little aside scene of him and Obi-Wan talking. He's like, maybe they'd let you on the council. He's like, Master Qui-Gon, maybe they'd let you on the council if you weren't, whatever he said, like, so stubborn, or if you didn't go against them so much. And he's like, I don't need that noise.
Yeah.
And
facts.
So I forget, going forward, does Obi-Wan make it on the council, or is he just a master without getting the rank? Or does he get the rank without being on the council like Anakin eventually does?
I'm trying to think.
Because I feel like he makes it on the council.
If he was on the council, it was the 3rd one.
Yeah.
And I feel like he was, because it was Mace, Yoda, Anakin, and Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
When Palpatine put him on the council.
Yeah. Because there's all these other random dudes that are on the council, but they all died eventually.
Yeah.
Most of them anyway.
Fair.
Well, I think all the council dudes die.
Yeah.
But yeah, Obi-Wan's a beast.
Yeah.
He took down Darth Maul,
Yep.
who just killed his master, from perceivedly high ground, I guess, because he jumped over. He jumped over it and cut him in half.
Yeah.
He defeats. Well, we'll get to him later. He has a badass fight in the 3rd one that should be much longer and is still cool, but should have been much longer. He has good fights in the 2nd one. He's good. He has a lot of wisdom that he imparts to people, even as a Padawan. Qui-Gon says it. He's ready to face the trials and become a master.
If you think about it, the first scene of the entire movie scene. I don't know if it's a scene, but one scene was he talks about how he had a feeling of something dark.
Yeah.
Before Qui-Gon even noticed.
Yeah.
Before the Jedi Council noticed, he was like, something's not right about this. And I'm feeling something elusive that we should probably be thinking about. And Qui-Gon was like, mind your present, boy.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Yoda told me to be aware of the future. He said, but only if it doesn't distract you from the moment.
Right. But it wasn't.
No.
In actuality, it was like, hey, maybe this isn't as great as we think it's going to go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So Obi-Wan for the win.
Obi-Wan's a good dude.
Always.
And he's got the blue lightsaber, which I just saw a thing on the internet the other day, which I don't know if it's a real thing or if it was like a fan theory thing that said if you had a green lightsaber, that meant you were known for being a more powerful warrior. And if you had a blue lightsaber, you were known for being more in tune with the Force. I don't know if that's a true thing or not.
That's fair.
But then the thing below the next line was like, or if you have a purple one, it means you're Samuel L. Jackson and you get a purple lightsaber because you say you want one.
That's fair.
Which is exactly how it went. Is exactly how it went. But
good for him.
So I was like, oh, that's a cool theory. But then you also kind of made it into a gag with that last line. But the last line is also true.
But it's also true.
So I was like, I can't debunk your theory.
But what color is Yoda's?
Green.
So.
But once he gets out there, he's
a pretty good warrior.
He's a boss. Yeah.
So
if
that's
anything,
what I mean.
Like maybe he could have both. I don't know. Yeah, because he was out there doing flips and he caught and then threw back force lightning.
But then here's the thing. Yeah, he like absorbed it. Which was crazy.
Yeah. He also just like pocketed it.
Yeah.
Like,
I'll say this for later.
Yeah.
It's a little. Exactly. But what was the one? So if that's the case, and I don't know if it said this, then what does it say about a yellow lightsaber?
I don't know.
So
it only mentioned those two.
Yeah.
It only mentioned those two, or those three, I should say. They're the blue, green, and purple.
You gotta give me a little bit more. Yeah. Not you, but that
internet.
post.
Come on, internet.
Yeah, internet.
Random post from the internet that I saw on Facebook or Reddit. I forget which.
Because I'm probably gonna forget, so I gotta say it now because I'm gonna forget.
Maybe.
But I heard that like Rey's lightsaber has capability to be dual, like a dual, like at the end. He's like, if you look at it, they took her handle.
Long, if I remember right.
Yeah, because they took her handle from her bow staff, and that's how they made the lightsaber. Ooh. And then if you look at it, it has like a bottom, whatever, and like I think hers can change colors too.
What?
So that's what I was just like, this is great. Like when I heard it again, I don't think it was a fan theory. I think it was like someone guessing, I guess, or because I don't know. I just watched it on a video and I was like, that's great.
Yeah, because every bad guy has a red saber.
Yes.
And when they're bad guys, they have red sabers. But in the games and other things, there's red, there's blue, there's green, there's yellow, there's orange, there's white, there's purple, there's like blue, there's dark, there's like light blue.
The black one.
Yeah, there's black.
Yeah.
There's a dark saber.
Yeah.
There's all different kinds, and I don't know if they all do different things or if it's just like aesthetics or if it has something to do with I think the lore is that has something to do with the crystal in the saber, the kyber crystal in the saber, but I forget if
which also isn't really a thing either. Like it is, but it's not. They don't talk about it as much anymore because they were like, well, how did they get Luke's saber back if you can't fix a kyber crystal and there's no more, or something? It was something crazy they were talking about in the sequel trilogy, and I was like, I don't know.
Yeah,
I just assume they have sabers lying around. I don't fucking know.
I don't know.
Yeah,
because she got another one. Rey had one.
And that's what they were talking about.
Yeah,
they were like, well, because remember who broke Luke's saber? Doesn't matter, but somebody broke Luke's saber when because what's his name? Lord Sidious, Darth Sidious. He shattered it or something. When at the very end, I think he shattered Luke's saber because she had Luke's saber.
Yeah,
and then. He shattered
and I think Ben had his old saber.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they were like, how did they get it back and to give her a new saber? Because she got a brand new saber.
Also in episode 2, Anakin loses lightsaber.
Yeah.
Gets chopped in half in that factory scene.
Yeah, it does. Again, lying around.
I don't know. They're just binders of lightsabers just floating around.
You're right. So it's like, okay, where's these kyber crystals and why can't everyone do it? And then I've heard different theories. Like, actually, you got to have the Force to power it on and all this other crap. And I'm just like, man, I don't know. We're getting
Han Solo used a lightsaber in a scene in Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah. No, listen.
Finn used a lightsaber, although it is heavily rumored and theorized that he was Force sensitive.
Force sensitive, yeah.
But whatever.
Yeah, there's so much.
Yeah,
and there's so much.
There is so much.
Let me stop interrupting you.
My next I'll keep it quick. Duel of the Fates, because we already talked about it.
Yeah.
Duel of the Fates, and I already said John Williams. I'm keeping them separate because John Williams' music in general, and then Duel of the Fates.
Fair.
Amazing. Made that fight so much better. Not that it was a bad fight, but it made that fight so much better when that music's going and they're all in their little compartments in that laser hallway, and Qui-Gon's meditating, and Darth Maul's just like pacing. He's like, I know I'm gonna kill this guy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get him. And Obi-Wan's like, Obi-Wan never put his lightsaber away. Like he always had it out, and he's like, oh man.
Because he knew.
I'm gonna get.
I think he kind of knew.
Oh yeah.
Because I think from again things that I've read was that Qui-Gon was realizing his departure.
Mm-hmm.
He knew he was gonna die, so that was his whole. Because you're supposed to be able to tell the future as a Force user, not tell the future, but
like see glimpses of it every now and then.
So, I think only Anakin can see it, but like you are kind of aware of it, like Yoda says, like I think I'm sensing something.
Because Yoda could
later.
Yoda was predicting stuff in the original trilogy, and then he also says like difficult to see. Always in motion, the future is.
And so it's like you can kind of sense it, but things can change.
Yeah.
But I think when he was meditating, he knew he was about to meet his end. And I think that he was just coming to terms with it. Again, this is what I read. And I think also that's why Obi-Wan was like, I got to get in there.
Yeah, because prior to that, they were fighting him together.
Yeah.
And he gave Obi-Wan some sweet chin music, kicked him off a platform. And then Qui-Gon was all on the defensive after he gave him a spinning back fist off the platform himself.
Yeah.
He seemed like he had it, and then Obi-Wan was like, I gotta get back up there. And then he didn't have it anymore.
Yeah. I would say, I don't know if you saw, but before Darth Maul kicked him, he said, I love you, and then he kicked him. So, no, I'm just joking.
He said, I love you, I'm sorry, and then he retired him.
Sorry.
He kicked that old man right in the chops at WrestleMania 25, I
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love it. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Let me stop.
That's it. That's all my likes.
That's all. Okay. All right. Well,
now comes
all my dislikes are all literally questions.
Oh, like questions for me or just in general?
Questions in general.
I know you said you had questions. I was like, ooh, Star Wars questions.
I don't have any answers to some of them. So, yeah. I don't really have a lot of questions, but I have some questions. But dislikes. You want to go first?
Sure.
Go ahead.
Okay. The biggest one is the pod race scene for me.
Fair.
It's really long.
Yep.
And yes, it does have consequences. Like the results of it are important, but it's really long.
Yeah.
And it takes away one of my favorite things about Star Wars, the music. Up until like the last 5 minutes of it, there's no musical accompaniment. So all you hear is like the engines and like that, and then they'll cut back to like the crowd and then the announcer, and they introduce all these characters that are inconsequential. They like spend time at the beginning of it, like, oh, all right, folks, out there in this position, there's so and so, and then here's the other guy, and then here's the guy with his pit droid team.
Yep.
None of them mattered.
No,
they were just there to get wiped out. And I counted 4 pods. Well, 5 pods exploded in that race. 4 of those people had to have died because Sebulbus was number 5 and he lived.
Yes.
But the one dude's blew up in that canyon.
Yes.
And they're in like a little cart.
Yep.
That dude, those things were spinning out of control. The one dude, I'm pretty sure, got shot and is exploded.
Yes.
People were just blowing up left and right. And the crowd was eating it up.
When I went to go write down, because obviously I wrote down Pod Race 2 because I'm smart for my dislikes. But when I wrote that, I kept, every time I watched it, I was like, okay, I got to write down mass murder because that's what was happening in the Pod Race.
And the crowd was eating it up.
Oh, easy.
Not to say that I
was about to say, like, I would be in the crowd.
I watch wrestling, but no, usually no one dies. It has happened. But, it's it's violence. And I'm eating it up.
Yeah.
But they go in here and they're like, oh, Anakin's never finished a race. Yeah, but he never fucking died in one either. So that's a good mark for him. Because right before this race starts, like, oh, I'll finish this one and I'll win. And like, wait, you never finished a race?
What? She goes, "You never won? No,
no. I'll finish this time."
Wait, you never
finished? I'm like, yeah, but I fucking lived. I survived, which is more than 4 of these other people can say.
Very true.
And what's his name? Sebulba. After his pod engines explode and his cart just like peters out and sits there, we never fucking see him again.
No,
never see him again. We see Watto again.
Yeah,
and he's like a penniless bum.
That's facts.
And we don't see Sebulba again. But, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
The no music, it's very long. And even Jabba the Hutt slept through most of the fucking race. Let's be honest. He started it, and then they woke him up at the end of it. And I said something to you. I was like, yeah, same. Could have woken me up at the end. Is it over yet? Boring.
Oh, man.
It was just, it dragged. They could have, I don't know. And I don't know how they could have done it better.
No?
I'm not going to say I could have pitched a better version of it, but they could have made it, okay, make it shorter.
Make it shorter. I'll go into my dislikes, but you go. I agree with you.
Only other real dislikes, it got really like, I shouldn't say it was really politically heavy. There's a lot of like politic talk.
Okay.
And I didn't follow a lot of it just because I know at a certain point,
it's one of my questions.
It doesn't really matter anymore. But at the time of the movie, it does matter.
Yes.
But like 2 movies later, all this goes out the window because chancellors and senators and kings and queens don't mean a goddamn thing because a certain man is the Senate at a certain point.
That's facts.
And it makes me sad that there was never a doubt in my mind who he was from the beginning. For one, you know Emperor Palpatine. If you like watch the old movies or were the old media, you knew his name was Emperor Palpatine. And then we're like, oh, here's Chancellor Palpatine. And then here's this mysterious cloaked figure who looks just like the fucking Emperor and sounds just like this guy. And I'm like, oh man, they couldn't have gussied it up a little bit more, like giving me, because there were parts where he was on the holograms talking and his voice got real distorted and low. It's like, if it could have done that the whole time, it would have been more of a surprise. Not that it still would have been a surprise because you have the same name, but it would have been more of a aha when he puts the hood on for the first time as him after he gets all disfigured. But that's just me as a Star Wars fan, knowing the old movies and knowing that these ones led not directly into them, but that some people were going to be alive. And that this dude's old as shit in those movies. And he's already pretty old in these ones, too. Yeah. He's an old man in these ones, and he's just like an older, like creepy, veiny, old thing.
Same.
And who couldn't do much but threaten people and then throw force lightning at them.
Yeah.
But in these ones, he actually wields a lightsaber, and he's intimidating as shit while doing it.
Oh yeah, in 3.
In 3. It's pretty incredible. But yeah, like that, it's not a mark against the movie. It's more a mark against me being a nerd and remembering things well in some cases. Okay. Things that don't matter. Things that don't matter, like Star Wars facts or things like that. Not things that could get me ahead in life, like when I was in school. I couldn't remember shit when I was in school or things like that.
That's funny.
Or like being able to name the 70 plus different Pokemon from Detective Pikachu.
Hey, there it is.
But yeah, and I hate to say it because we both came to his defense. The kid.
Okay.
Jake Lloyd.
Yeah.
It's hard to say that a kid actor is bad at being an actor because he's still a kid.
Yeah.
So I can't say that I thought he did a bad job. I'll say I thought he was annoying.
Okay.
Because I often find children annoying.
Yeah.
I find his voice annoying. His stupid little face. He's an insufferable child. I just didn't care for him. And yeah, and again, it's hard to say like, oh, child actor this, child actor that, or how do you play a character that no one has played before? Like no one's portrayed Anakin Skywalker.
Right.
Like how do you?
It's not a reboot.
Yeah, do it better. No, like there's no notes like old previous Anakin Skywalker actors can't come out like, oh well, kid, this is how I did it. No, there's nothing for a child to go on.
Yeah.
Aside from, I don't know, maybe George Lucas yelling at him in a headset.
Yeah, fair.
Act better. I don't know. He's annoying to me, and it's a minor thing. But yeah, the kid.
That's fair.
And I Jingle All the Way. I like Jingle All the Way.
Yeah. To be fair, though,
Yeah.
you didn't really like him in Jingle.
No, I didn't.
So
because he was up against Arnold and Sinbad and Phil Hartman.
Phil Hartman.
Get the fuck out of here, kid. You're the last one on that list. Sorry. Not sorry.
So your hate for Jake Lloyd. Keep going.
That's it.
No, I'm just
That's it. Also, The Big Show was in that movie. So
also, yeah.
Yeah. So it's another person he's behind. But those are my dislikes.
Okay.
And I have something else I want to talk about, but it's not a dislike. I just want to, when we get to like the discourse part of this, there's something I want to bring up.
That's fine.
If you don't bring it up in your dislikes.
I don't know. I might, but I might not. I don't know. Okay. So my dislikes. I don't know why it's in my dislikes, but it is. I didn't hate Jar Jar Binks.
Yeah.
Peer pressure made me hate him. Seriously, because like when I first watched it, I was like, okay, I like this guy. He's funny. He's comic reliefy. He is hilarious to me. The way he talks is funny to me. And I really don't have a problem with him. Because
as a kid, I definitely did like Jar Jar Binks. I was like, this guy's funny.
You did?
This guy's hilarious. Yeah, as a kid, I was like, oh, this is great. And then I hit like a certain point when I was like, I don't know if I like this guy. And then I watched it again today, and I was like, there's not as much to hate here as I think as some people like
there's
to put
really
out there.
not. Like, I'm like, okay, why? I understand he is comic reliefy. Because if you think about it, C-3PO and R2-D2 are kind of comic reliefy.
Yeah, and that's one of the things I love about them.
Right. Here's the thing. R2-D2, C-3PO didn't even get introduced into the third act of the movie. Yeah. So you need a comic relief before that. Yeah. It walks in Jar Jar Binks. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, okay. So people hate him. And I'm just like, dude, he's kind of funny. And even now, I'm just like, he's so great. Mm-hmm. Misa thinks, and I'm like, yeah. I used to, honestly, after I saw this movie, actually after I saw the second movie, because that was the first one I saw, I used to talk like Jar Jar Binks just because I thought he talked so funny, and it was hilarious to me. And I was just like, yeah, that's hilarious. And he was making some great points. Yeah. And I was just like, because I said it to you, I was like, that's actually a pretty good point that he brought up. I forgot what it was, but I was like,
Was it when they were in the city? They were like, oh, well, can we bring Jar Jar as our guide? Like, no, we're going to keep him here and we're going to punish him. Yeah. And he's like, I can either die with you guys or die here.
Right.
He's like, I'd rather be dead here. Wait, what am I saying? What was it? I'll take my chances. And he goes with them. Yeah.
But yeah, there was that, but it was something else too, because they were like, oh, let's do this. He was like,
it was when they were in the ship underwater. And they're like, oh, this is a minor setback. And he's like, we're underwater. We have no power.
Yes, that was it.
The ship's taking on water. We just got spit out by a giant fish.
And there's monsters.
Yeah, and we're about to die.
What makes you think this is a good situation? Yes. I was like, he's bringing up a lot of great points, guys.
He did make some points.
I was like, it's fair. Like, I'm not a Jedi, so I'm not this calm and patient, so fuck off. Right. I'm scared. And then we turn the lights on, and there's another monster. Yeah. Who gets eaten by another monster. Yeah. So it's like, But either way. I didn't hate Jar Jar Binks, so peer pressure made me hate him for the longest time. And then when I went back, I was just like, no, this guy's funny. So I'm disliking the peer pressure that made me hate him because people, again, Star Wars fans are the worst fans, and they talked about how bad he was and blah, blah. But then you come across all these posts and theories where apparently George Lucas wanted him to be a Sith. And that was a thing, and I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah, I saw some of those theories, and I was like, man, these people are reaching.
But here's the thing, I was like, did that come from George Lucas? Or because, like, I saw something on Twitter the other day, and I was telling you about it, but they were like, oh, George Lucas wanted the, midichlorians, or he also wanted, what else was it? He didn't want Jake Lloyd. He didn't want anybody to he didn't want to do Anakin at all, apparently, in the first couple. Oh. Yeah, he was like, no. He was like, having Anakin as a kid is going to ruin the whole entire series.
I do remember seeing something about that.
And I was like, okay. But, like, as a younger self Anakin, he was like, it's going to ruin the series.
Didn't
I'm like,
ruin the series
what else would you... Yeah, that's what I'm like, well, what else would you do
in the prequel? It didn't make an amazing movie.
No, it didn't make it better, but it didn't
ruin anything. Yeah, it didn't ruin the series or the franchise.
Man, there was something else, too, that they brought up, and I was like, George Lucas, what's wrong with you, man? Like, and they were like, this is from George Lucas himself, and I'm just like, what? That doesn't seem okay. But either way, So, like I said, Jar Jar Binks he isn't my least favorite. He isn't my most favorite, but I think he served a purpose, and I think he was fine.
And they definitely gave him smaller roles in the second and third episodes.
Yeah, smaller roles, but more important too.
Yeah, because he was like, was a counsel to Padmé. Like he was in government.
Yep.
And in this one, he was like riding a duck thing into battle poorly.
Right. And here's the thing: like he did a great job in the battle too, if you think about it. Because he
took out a few of those tanks on his own by accident.
He did. Yep, by accident, but hey,
accidentally on purpose.
Exactly. So yeah, it's a whole thing. So that's one of my dislikes. So my next dislike, I wasn't for sure. This is what I wrote. I wasn't for sure if Lord Sidious was a secret. So kind of like what you said, I didn't know, or Palpatine, whatever you want to call him. I didn't know. So when I first saw it, I was like, I'm looking around like, I think I uncovered who's the other Sith. But then, like you just said, you're like, yeah, I knew it from the beginning. I'm like, oh shit. So that was like one of my things. I'm like, that was one of my questions.
Crack the case.
I was like, yeah. I was like, you're like, yeah, we knew this from the beginning. I was like, oh.
Well, I did because I'd seen the old ones. You hadn't seen the original trilogy either, so it's not. So it wouldn't have been it would have been a surprise for you.
It was such a surprise.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing. It wasn't really a surprise, but I'm like, are they trying to hide his face because he kind of looks like the guy? Yeah. And then I was like, maybe. And then at the end of the movie, they like, who's the other Sith? And then the camera pans to him, and
right,
then
he is right up on the camera, and everyone is all but staring down the line at him. Yeah,
it's so true. And I was like, wait. Am I the only one? And then, the internet wasn't as prevalent back then, and a lot of people I knew didn't like Star Wars. So in my head, I'm like, am I the only one who knows that this guy is the Sith? I was like,
secret genius.
This is amazing. I was like, come on,
I should
guys.
call George Lucas right now and tell him I figured him out. I got you, George. You bastard.
I didn't even know what else to do about it, so I was just like, okay. So that was one of my questions. Was it supposed to be a secret? And apparently not.
Yes and no.
Yeah,
I don't know. Because if you saw the old ones, it can't be a secret if you paid attention to it.
Right.
But if you're a kid just coming into Star Wars for the first time, you're not gonna know who that is.
Right. And which for me it was. I was just like,
or even if you're not a kid, if you're like an adult or anyone coming into those movies at that point for the first time coming in fresh, you wouldn't know. Right. Why would you?
Right.
You wouldn't know that 30 years ago someone made a movie and this guy was the bad guy.
Same. Yeah. No, I know, and that's exactly. I was just like, okay.
Yeah.
I was like, okay. Well, I just kind of just let it be because I was like, whatever. But that was my. I don't know why I put it under dislikes, but it was just a question because I didn't know. Because if it was supposed to be a secret, you guys suck at keeping a secret. But now that I know that it wasn't, like I said, it's not really a dislike. It's like, oh, okay, cool. Whatever. Okay. Nextly, I don't know what that is, but next dislike.
Second of Lee.
It was. I say that a lot.
Forget what that's even from.
What is that from?
I forget.
Second of Lee.
I want to say it's Arrested Development. I want to say it's Tobias.
Yes, it is.
I feel like
it is. It is Tobias. I was like, dude, I know it's somebody who's hilarious. Okay. It's mostly boring. This movie.
Yeah. That was part of what I don't know if I said it earlier when it was very political.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, it was kind of boring.
That's my one dislike of this movie. It's not that I didn't hate Jar Jar Binks. I didn't hate the things that people hated about it, but then I also did. So it was mostly boring.
Yeah.
And I'll put that. No, I'm not gonna put it with that. But yeah, so mostly boring. So that was that. I don't know why these are my dislikes, but they are. I didn't hate the midi-chlorian talks.
Okay, that's the thing I was going to bring up.
I knew you were, and I knew this is okay.
Is it good or bad? Because I know a lot of people said that, this is the death of the franchise because it demystifies the Force or whatever. They still never really say exactly what they were.
No one explained a goddamn thing.
Because Qui-Gon was like, they're in all living cells, every living cell in your body.
So white blood cells, got it.
And they apparently talk to you. But do they? He's like, you can hear their voices if you listen. I'm like, okay, so is that just his way of telling him to meditate and the Force will guide him,
right,
or whatever? Because if they have never, that I'm aware of, been a thing. So I'm like, hang on. My midichlorians are talking to me. I'm getting up. We got to go this way.
Right.
No, I don't.
That's funny.
I know it pissed off a lot of people. But for what reason?
That's what I'm saying. Like, I didn't hate it because, like, I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Like, hey, how was your kid born? I didn't write this down. I wanted
that part was a little.
But it was like, how was your kid born? No, to me,
well, Jesus-y.
It was, but I'm like, oh, okay, perfect. They explained it the same way they explain it in church. So I was like, okay, so if we believe it in church, then we believe it here. Okay, that's perfect. And people are like, this doesn't make any sense. And I'm like,
yeah.
So church also doesn't make sense. And
Because
people are like, no.
Yeah. Because we talked about this before we started recording. Because I think after the movie ended, we were like, midichlorians, let's talk about this.
Yeah, fair.
And then, because we were like, hey, we'll buy that a little green dude can raise his hand and pick a spaceship out of a swamp.
Exactly.
We'll just take that because, he can use the Force.
Right.
So that's understood. That's known. That's understood.
Right.
How does the Force work? Well, let's try to explain that. I don't want it. I don't want you to explain it to me. Or if you are, I don't want it to be that.
Yeah.
Sorry. Then ignore it.
That's what I mean. I just don't. Yeah.
Because they still, as far as I'm aware, they still haven't clearly said what a midichlorian is.
Right.
They're like, it's in your cells, but they don't say that it's like if you have enough of them that you can use the Force, or if you have enough of them you're aware of the Force,
right.
or if you have enough of them you're just alive, because they said living cells.
Right.
All they said was Anakin has had the highest that they've ever seen. That they've seen.
Right. So someone can be higher.
Right.
Or someone can be not high, And listen, I
have great numbers. My midichlorians.
Oh my.
So some people are very poor.
My.
Some of them are very low numbers. Mine are personally very high.
And if they're not high, we need to recount them.
Everyone tells me that I have the best numbers. I have the most midichlorians by a lot.
By a lot. No. So yeah, for me, I'm just like, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what else to, you know what I mean? Like, whatever.
I know that a lot of fans got angry about it. And I think I also got mad about it just because I was like, oh man, you're right, this is dumb. But I didn't really think about it. I was like, you know what? This is a movie where spaceships fly around and make noise in space.
Yep.
And explosions make noise in space.
Yep.
And lasers conveniently start and stop on the end of a stick for you to swing it at somebody as a sword.
Facts.
And
there's something called kyber crystals.
Yeah, there's crystals that when you shine a light through them make a tangible laser that can cut through a metal door and all kinds of shit. You
can also force choke somebody.
Yeah, you can choke somebody. You can lift shit with your mind. You can jump really high. You can move really fast by using the Force. You can shoot lightning at people if you're evil.
Right.
Or if you're just good at it. I forget which it is. Yeah. You can do all these kinds of things. But if you try to explain it in a wrong way, everyone's going to hate it.
But like some... I was about to use a word they use and it didn't mean the same thing. I was about to say some symbiont force, but kind of symbiont force though. Like, so you're saying some mythical thing that we can't even see,
and they don't do a great job of explaining
that we can't explain. Dictates what we do.
Yeah,
and I'm like, so here's the thing. I personally think midichlorians is a better explanation than, hey, what's the Force? The Force is the living space between any and everything. It's the energy between any and everything. And I'm like, oh, okay. So air? Like, I don't understand. Like, so then everybody should be touched by the Force. That's what I thought when they explained it in the sequel trilogy. I was like, because they were trying to explain it to
Rey, because that was Luke telling Rey about it.
Yeah. And I'm like, so everybody can do this. But they're like, no. And I'm like, well, wait.
Well, like if you take them, I feel like it's maybe a little both, because you go, oh, the Force exists,
and that's fine.
And then you're like, oh, but if you have the midichlorians, maybe like then you're more aware of it,
right?
Or what? Because what's his name, Watto, the slave owner, he didn't. Who knows what his midichlorian counts as? He's immune to the Jedi mind trick, a work of the Force, of the Jedi. Right. He's immune to it. Does he have midichlorians?
Right.
Maybe. Who knows?
Maybe he's a robot.
Maybe.
But that's the thing, like, so to me, I'm not really for sure about it. And since I'm not, then that means that any explanation doesn't make it wrong.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Until they come out with some kind of, like, here's what Anakin's number was versus, like, a Dragon Ball Z style power rating of, like, here's all the Jedi Masters and here's every Force user, Jedi and Sith alike. Here's their numbers. And then you can put that on some kind of scale where, like, a number equals power. Then show me that. But that's never happened that I'm aware of.
But I don't think that would... What would that do for you?
Nothing.
Oh, okay.
It would just give me, like, a tangible thing to look at. And be like, oh, here's what it means versus in terms of at least, I don't know, power or ability. Because that's what a lot of people care about. They're like, oh, well, he's strong, or he's stronger than him, or he's stronger than him.
I think the flaw just in that argument and most people's argument of not liking the midichlorians is not everything is ever explained.
Yeah.
So if you think about it from a different perspective, it's like, okay, we know how, let's say Ultron, we know how he got his powers.
Yeah.
But the stones got their powers from what? Okay, they explain that, but it's like, that doesn't make any sense because it's not real.
Yeah.
But so it's like, just because it's not tangible to me, if I'm in a science fiction world, which we are, then that means it's going to have science fiction rules.
Yeah.
It's just how they said, I was watching this one video and they were talking about the Marvel, and they're like, man, there's going to be, they said it earlier in Marvel, I guess, that there's not going to be any magic in this. It's just going to be, you know, space and, you know,
technology.
Technology. And then they're like, and the guy in the video was just like, how are they, he's like, Doctor Strange comes out in a year, so he obviously recorded it before then. He's like, how are they going to explain that if they keep telling us there's no magic in the thing?
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, okay, so that's a thing. So we're okay with magic in that sense. How do you get magic?
Yeah.
He opened his third eye. How do I do that? How does the, you know what I mean? So it's like, everyone's okay. You suspend your disbelief to what you want to, but not everything.
Yeah.
I need to understand that, okay, Superman's an alien, but how do aliens fly? Like, tell me. You got to explain that to me. Well, he's just, you know, powerful. Some of the most, like, fanatics of Star Wars are super religious. And I just don't. I don't get it.
You can take some things on faith in real life, but not in a movie.
Not in science fiction.
No.
I want
because
my fake to be real.
The first part of science fiction is science. Come on.
This is... We're treading very, very dangerous territory.
Yeah, so midichlorians, are they good or bad? Whatever.
I don't know
how you want. I don't necessarily think
I didn't hate them.
No,
that's
I
all
don't
I know.
necessarily think they're necessary because they never talk about them again in the movies. In the movies, and I'll leave it at that.
Oh, okay.
But but yeah, like it's and I don't know if that's because it was one of those things where fans were like, "Oh, this is dumb," so they never brought it up again. Or if at that point, like,
that's exactly what happened.
Is that what it was?
No, that's
like,
exactly what
Anakin's midichlorian count. Oh, he's getting trained, so let's not bring it up.
Because they talk about midichlorians in the second one and the third one, I think.
Do they? Because it's been a minute since I've seen them, so I might have forgotten.
I don't know. Maybe they don't.
But I know they only mentioned it in like a couple scenes in this one.
Yeah.
And it was enough to piss some people off.
Right.
Anywho.
To write off the whole series.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to try to wrap this up quick. Dislikes. Pod race. I said that.
Duh.
But I have questions. I thought Anakin got lapped.
Oh, when he like just didn't move for like the first minute?
He didn't, but I thought he got lapped. Because remember, his pod died like 3 times.
Yeah.
And the order got messed up. And I thought he got lapped. I thought they even say he got lapped.
Did he?
I was falling asleep. But I'm pretty sure they say he got lapped. And every time I watch this movie, I go, if he got lapped, but I never see him lap Saboba.
Yeah.
Saboba was always in first.
I didn't know that he did get lapped.
I
just remember them saying at the beginning, like, oh, he's going to have a hard time catching up to the leaders. And then he's right up with everybody as like
also
a second after
it's
his
like
thing
Mario
starts
Kart.
moving.
Right.
It's like Mario Kart for the fucking CPUs.
Yeah, fair. Right. No, fair. So that's what I'm like, I thought he got lapped. So I was like, okay, if he got lapped, how did he catch up to Saboba? Because he only encountered Saboba once. So it wasn't like he didn't do it twice because that's what happened.
He had to get past lapped. Everybody else. That
I'm pretty sure they say he got lapped.
As Saboba was just like killing him.
Yeah.
Or the hazards were wiping people out.
I'm almost certain they say he got lapped. And I just don't understand how.
Pod race was boring.
Yeah, same.
Let me tell you something about racing in general. For me, video games, whatever. Watching racing on TV, dumb, boring.
Super dumb.
Don't do it.
Absolutely not.
Playing a racing game, unless it's like a kart game where you're shooting shit at people, I don't care.
No.
If it's like, oh, I drive a car better than you, I don't care. That is boring to me.
I agree.
If I'm not in a car shooting a turtle shell or a missile or throwing a banana peel or at somebody and wiping somebody else out so I can pass them, I'm bored.
Very. I agree with you.
And That's boring to watch it.
Yep. Absolutely.
Because there's a lot of cuts to the inside of that pod of him flipping switches and plugging and unplugging things and little symbols on computer screens that I don't know what those mean.
Same.
I can't read that language. It's probably a real language that somebody out there in the fandom can read. I didn't need to see all of that.
So
I didn't care.
It's funny you say that because, like, if someone who really loved it, what they would say is like, "Well, you can't do it." Well, just because I can't do it doesn't mean that I should like it.
Doesn't mean I would have fun doing it.
Yeah, or even I should just like it because I can't do it.
Yeah,
I can acknowledge something is difficult and also not like it. And I tell people that all the time.
I can do my own taxes. Doesn't mean I enjoy doing it. It's so boring as shit.
Same. That's exactly what I tell people all the time.
I can bang my shin against the edge of a countertop. Doesn't mean I'm going to like doing it.
That's also fair. So that was one of my questions because I just was like, ugh. And then also the mass murder that was happening on the track.
They were all dying. They had to. Some of those people had to be dead.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, because people were blowing up.
Yeah.
So that was what it was. So that's one of my dislikes. So my last dislike was Trade Talks Senate. So I didn't understand. I understood what was going on, kind of, but I also, in a much more real sense, I had no idea what was going on. So I was like, okay, they want to. So there's trade routes in between. It's kind of like the. Panama Canal and whatever. There's trade routes, and then people are blocking these trade routes so that nothing can get into the planet. I get that. Okay, fine. But they're only blocking it because these people want more money or they want fair something. I assume it's kind of like a union situation going on where, somebody isn't getting as much money as someone else, so that's the reason why there's talks. That makes sense to me. What didn't make sense is that it went to the Senate, and they're like, hey... she went to the Senate and was like, hey, they are invading my country. I'm like, we don't believe you.
Can you prove it?
And then they're like, let's not even, whatever. And then she goes, this is what she says. She goes, if this doesn't change, I'm going to vote no confidence in the chancellor. Then he sits down as if he lost. Yeah. I was like, wait, that's all you got to do?
Yeah, because a lot of people stood up and were like, listen, yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm going to vote no confidence for a lot of people in the United States government if that's the goddamn case.
Right.
Starting with an orange guy.
Is that all it takes?
Is that it?
Well, I think they already got him.
January 21st, 2017, I would have been like, no confidence. Can we get this guy out of here? The day after the inauguration, I am out of here, please. So I was just like, I wasn't really for sure what was going on. But to me, none of that mattered. Yeah. And I think that's why. So for me, I understand so the way I see this movie and to wrap this up is it started off as just trades, but there was a puppet master in the background who really wanted something more than just trade. He wanted to take over the government.
Yep.
And I'm like, okay, fair. Then every other movie was just about them taking over the government and them getting it back. And them are two different people. So it's this way or this way. And I understand all that. So that makes sense in that part.
Because dude's playing both sides. He's playing the government against the bad guys, but he's also playing the bad guys against the government. And he just wants them both to...
Right.
Whoever comes out on top, he still wins.
And so... Then Palpatine is from Naboo, is what I'm gathering as well.
I forget.
Well, because they keep saying our people. Because he keeps talking to Padmé and like, oh, our people, and this is a win for us. I'm assuming he's from Naboo. But then,
I never really looked into that, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, because that's what he said. And I was just like, okay. I was like, okay. I don't know. I just had a lot of questions. I didn't write any of them down, so I forgot them. But,
yeah. A lot of the movie got a little bogged down with pod racing and political mumbo jumbo.
Same. So, Those are my dislikes.
Less negotiations, more aggressive negotiations with the lightsaber.
Same. I agree.
More of that. And we'll get there.
Eventually.
Yeah.
Okay. So those are my dislikes. So, for this episode, what about Slushie Meter? This standalone episode, not thinking about any other episode. What do we think about this movie?
I'm gonna give it. Am I going first?
Yeah,
Okay.
go for it. You're already going.
I'm gonna give it. Honestly, I want you to go first, but I think I'm gonna go.
You did this to yourself.
I'm gonna give it a 3.
Okay.
I'm gonna give it a 3 out of 5
Okay.
because it's. I like to think that I'm a Star Wars fan. I like to think that I like Star Wars.
Fair.
I don't hate the movie, but there's. I know you said just based on this one, not based on the other ones. I know there's better ones than this. There's way better ones than this.
So yeah, we're just talking about movies.
I'm gonna give this one a 3 because it's politically boring. The pod race scene I don't like. I don't like the kid, and those are all fairly large parts of the movie.
That's fair.
It's got a really good duel. It doesn't really have good like space dog fights. It doesn't have good like ship fights.
No,
not really.
You don't get that till later. Which they're amazing.
It's got I'm gonna give it a 3.
Okay.
I can't give it above a 4. I can't give it a 4. I can't give it a 2. And I feel like it would be just mean to give it a 2.5. I'm going to give it a 3.
It's just mean,
and it would still be being mean to give it a 3.5 because they'd be like, oh, you get a 3.5. Well, that was kind of mean. You didn't mean that. No, I'm going to give it a 3. I'm going to give it a 3.
Whatever you want to talk yourself into.
I'm not going to build up this movie's self-confidence by lying to it. I'm going to give it a 3.
Don't.
And I'm also not going to do myself a disservice by giving it higher. It's a 3.
Okay.
It's okay.
I will.
It's not the worst thing I've ever seen by any stretch.
That's absolutely fair. We've seen some movies.
I've seen Birds of Prey.
Yeah, we have.
And I think we said this before. Like this might be my lowest rated Star Wars movie.
Right.
But that's like saying it's my least favorite flavor. I think I've used this analogy before. It's my least favorite flavor of Starburst. They're still all good. I still like them all. Yeah. I still will eat them all. Yeah. I will watch this movie. If it's on, I'll watch it. I'm not going to go out of my way to see it.
Fair.
Like if there is a pink Starburst on the other side of this room.
You don't like pink?
That's my least favorite one.
Yellow's the worst.
Yellow's delicious. Oh. I like yellow. Oh. For me, I'm gonna upset some people out there. Orange, number 1.
What?
Yep.
Oh,
I knew it. I knew you were expecting red.
Over.
You were waiting for red.
This is over.
You were waiting. Everyone out there was waiting for red.
Of course you're waiting.
Orange is number
red's
1.
The best.
Orange is number 1. Then red. Then yellow, which I still like yellow though. Then pink. And again, and something has to be at the bottom. It's not that I think pink is disgusting.
Yeah, yellow.
It's not that I think the strawberry one is disgusting, but something's got to be at the bottom because there's better things above it.
Yes. It's yellow. I mean,
I love orange flavored things.
What's the other one? Honestly, okay, you know those little 2-packs that they give out on Halloween?
Yeah. If I get a double orange, I am skipping back home. If I get a double pink, I'll still eat it. If I get a double yellow, I'll love
one orange Starburst coming right up.
Oh.
Listen, if I get a red and a pink together, I'm out of this world. 2 reds, that's never happened.
No, I don't think the algorithm exists to get double reds. And if you get one, you can like buy a lottery ticket or something.
Listen, it does. I've had it once, but just once. My entire life of eating Starburst.
Did anyone see it? Can they corroborate it?
Man, listen. Who said I didn't see it?
Did
Jim say I didn't see it?
I believe that you believe that you got to. I saw it. I believe that you believe that you saw it.
So, I agree. Okay, let's say I've never seen it. Okay, fine. But I have seen a double yellow, and can we just throw that away?
I thought you were talking about Star Wars again.
No.
If I get a double yellow, I'm never going to be sad about that. I love lemon. I love citrus flavored
red things. And pink, that's the ultimate 2-pack. yellow and orange is the least ultimate.
I will take a yellow and orange.
Let's say red and pink, Justice League. Double yellow, orange and yellow, Birds of Prey. Don't say it.
You
Suicide Squad's in there too.
No, that's not fair. That's not fair to Starbursts.
We need to take a poll because I think
no, Birds of Prey is if you open that up and you got a turd in there. You open up that Starburst and you got a Tootsie Roll.
That's what I thought. That's disgusting. 2 yellows.
If you open that up and there's like a circus peanut in there or a piece of candy corn, a subpar piece of candy, I will never do that to a Starburst.
You don't like candy corn either?
No.
Chris.
No, I don't.
Get out.
You get the hell out. Get him out of here.
Right.
Get the fuck out of my room.
Okay.
Mother.
This is already way too long of an episode.
I'm sorry I made it about Starburst. We got more heated about Starburst than we did about Star Wars.
Than any movie we ever had.
We can do a candy podcast. We'll come to blows, I think. You're going to be blood.
I'll tell you what. Reese Cups? You like Reese Cups?
Of course.
Okay, we're good.
I'm human after all.
Oh, yeah, that's fair. Fair.
I live and breathe. Come on.
As I live and breathe. What is that from?
Old people? I don't know.
Oh, yeah, that's fair.
I already declared it to you.
Yes, I'm about to say it is Southern people.
You are out of order, sir.
Okay. I don't even know what we were talking about.
We're talking about Starburst. And we got sidetracked talking about Star Wars. We should have been talking about Starbursts, apparently.
From the beginning. 2 stars. We just got confused.
Bursts.
I think I was going to take up a little bit for Jake Lloyd. In my opinion, I think Jake Lloyd had less scenes than Queen Amidala, to me. And that's the reason why I can't hate him for this movie, is because of that. And I don't dislike Queen Amidala, but at the same time, like, she isn't even in the other movies, so
not really.
Yeah,
not
so
as much.
Well, I mean, she's in 2 and 3, but I mean, like 4, 5, 6, like.
Oh, she's not in those at all.
At least Anakin is. You know what I mean? So, spoiler alert.
Well, I mean, you could make the argument that he's not until the end of Return of the Jedi.
Okay, well, even if that's the case, then that's still 4 movies to her 3.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
They both die.
Yeah.
Either way. Spoiler alert. Sorry. Okay, so my Slushie Meter on this long ass episode is honestly, I've thought about this for a while, and I'm gonna say I want to say 3 as well, but I think I'm gonna go 3.5.
Okay.
Because I do because some of my favorite things come in this movie.
Okay.
So that's the reason why. Qui-Gon Jinn, he's a favorite of mine.
Pod racing.
I like. Damn it. Qui-Gon Jinn, young Obi-Wan Kenobi without the beard. The Duel of the Fates. Obviously C-3PO, R2-D2. Yes. Padmé, I actually like Padmé in this too. She's not just like, that's the thing that I don't like in the next one, and we can talk about that later, but they make her a damsel in distress sometimes, and I'm just like, but she's kind of badass, and then all of a sudden she's
and then
just
they make her ride through a coliseum on a space rhino with a gun, just taking people out,
handcuffed, and yeah.
Tarzan's Spider-Man swing kicking a space tiger.
And I'm just like, oh, she's badass. And it's like, Anakin, oh, you broke my heart.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, man up.
No,
or woman up.
We've all been there, though.
So,
who among us hasn't fought some space monsters and then in our next movie got real sad and died?
Yeah, fair. Same. So, like I said, some of my, Darth Maul, the fact that Darth Maul and Qui-Gon Jinn don't show back up in these Star Wars movie, like, it's not a disservice. I get why they aren't needed, but at the same time, I'm like, man, if they would have, though, oh my God. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so some of my favorite things come in this movie. So I'm going to have to say 3.5. Okay. Because I know for a fact there is a movie that I hate way more than this.
In the franchise?
Absolutely.
Oh.
No.
Oh, yeah, I know what it is.
Absolutely.
I know what it is.
There may be 3 movies I hate more than this movie. But there's not. Because like I told you, they got a little better. Not by much. But that first one.
Yeah. Because, honestly, like, spoiler alert, that one's going to probably be my next lowest rated one.
It just doesn't. And it's like, well, this was the beginning. I know. They could have skipped it. Let's put this movie out. Let's shelve it.
Skip right to Empire.
Yeah,
Skip
absolutely.
right to Empire.
Yeah, no, for sure. And even that one, I'm like, the
Empire,
third one is
Empire Strikes Back begins. It's bad already for the good guys. It was never good for the good guys. Let's be honest.
Though, because I know I shouldn't be talking about this. I know we said we weren't going to talk about this, but the thing is, though, the third one is the best of the original trilogy.
Return of the Jedi.
And
I love that movie.
Here's the thing: every time we talk about, I say 1, 2, 3. You want to know why I say 1, 2, 3? Because I don't know which one is which. Mm-hmm. I know what A New Hope is, but between the other two, I don't know. I call it, no. I know 4, but I'm saying I know the name of it.
Yeah.
So when you say Return of the Jedi, I'm like
3,
2, 3. Okay.
3.
See, I don't know.
Yeah.
I still don't know.
Empire Strikes Back is that one's 2. It's episode 5.
Empire Strikes Back is 5.
It's 5, yeah, number 2 of that
got
trilogy.
It. Yeah.
So it's 1, 2, 3, A New Hope, or just Star Wars.
But, yeah.
And then Empire Strikes
Back. But not
Back,
even going that.
Jedi. Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, when they're like, "Oh, Empire Strikes Back is so good," I'm like, "Is that 2 or 3?"
It's the 2. It's a lot of people's favorite, and it's
I know.
very good. I'm not going to say that it's my favorite. It's very good, but it was gunning for it at a certain point.
But that's the thing.
For my top spot.
So that was the thing. I was just like, well, okay, fine. But I just don't know the names.
I also like Ewoks.
Yeah, that's 3.
Yes.
See, I don't know. I don't know because I don't know.
Taking out the fucking giant robots. I like that.
So 3.5 because I think a movie for me is going to get a 2. I'm just throwing that out there. And I was going to go 3, but I'm like, no, I'm not going to go 3 because something else is going to be a 3.
Okay.
Probably. As a Star Wars fan, there's some movies I don't like.
Here it comes.
I don't like older movies.
I know. That's fine. I'm not gonna.
Too much. I know you don't care, but
no,
it hurts me.
Well, it's not that I don't care. I can't tell you that you're wrong or that you're not a fan because you don't like the exact same things that I like.
That's
for
fair.
the exact same reasons that I like.
Unless we're talking about Starburst, because you know what?
You know what? If you want to question my Starburst fandom, I will walk out of here right now.
It's like 95% overwhelming. You're asking for a recount at this point.
I mean, if you put a bag of Starburst in front of me, I will eat any color in that bag.
Oh, fair. I'm gonna eat it.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean I'm gonna like it.
The only
I'm gonna eat it because it's Starburst.
Well, yeah, because it's delicious.
It's delicious.
It
is delicious.
Yes, it is.
They're Starburst.
That's all I want is that they're all delicious. The only reason I'm putting one below the other ones is because there's other ones I like better.
But if I had a choice to say that one isn't delicious, I'm gonna say which one isn't delicious. Aww. Yeah. Aww. If they were like, "Hey, you can only pick one forever," I'm like, "Okay, then it's not yellow or
like
orange."
One color Starburst to eat forever.
Yeah, it's not yellow or orange. That's a consensus. We won the election with that one.
It's not pink.
Pink's okay, but
for
if I didn't,
for me, it's not pink.
That's
for you, it's not pink either.
No, it's not pink. No,
yeah,
for sure.
Exactly.
No, it's red.
So we can at least agree on that.
Like every other natural-born American citizen would pick red. We are red-blooded Americans.
Must be all that Canadian ancestry in me, I guess. I like orange-flavored things. I like lemon-flavored things. I like lime, and I like grapefruit.
As somebody who came over my house with orange shoes, I'm not mad at you.
Exactly.
I get it.
I wore my favorite. If I had walked in here and you said, "Hey, nice orange shoes," and I said, "Yeah, favorite color Starburst," would we be sitting here right now?
No. Get out. What are you talking
you would
about?
Have pushed me down those stairs.
Damn it. Okay, no more Starburst talk. Okay.
I do have red shoes also.
That's fair.
I'll wear the red ones next time.
They look better. No, I'm just joking.
I'll wear red. I'll wear one red one and one yellow one, so we'll both be happy.
No, not yellow. I thought you don't like yellow.
I do like yellow.
Oh, you do like it.
I like them all.
But it's not your favorite.
But pink's my least favorite.
Okay, fair. Okay, that's what I'm saying. So
I'll
if
wear
I had
one
to
red
rank,
shoe and one orange shoe, so we're both happy.
That's fair. I can appreciate that. So here's the thing: if we were what am I talking about? Okay, if we had to rank them 4 rankings, yellow would get a 7. Orange would get an 8. Pink would get a 9. And red would get a 10. Like, that's how it would rank. Yes, 70% is still passing.
It's not a bad score.
And it's still a C.
Yeah.
I'll eat it. I'll take it. But if I had to choose, I want an A.
Okay.
2 A's. You know?
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
I'll take a couple D's in this situation. Heyo.
Heyo. On that note.
Good night, everybody.
So, I got a 3.5. You had a 3.
3, yes.
Okay. Stay tuned for the episode 2, Attack of the Clones.
And we're going to talk about Skittles next episode, too.
I just eat those.
I'm not going to have any teeth left at the end of this.
I just don't like the sour
from eating
ones.
Candy. Oh, I like them. I can only eat like one package of them because then it makes my mouth hurt.
Yeah.
But I love sour candy.
Yeah. Okay. I don't like the tropical ones.
Oh, in the blue bag?
Yeah.
I can't find them anywhere anymore.
Yeah, because they're trash.
I like them.
Yeah, they were like, man, let's stop making these.
But they seem like the purple ones.
Yeah. But the purple was in the tropical too.
Some of them. Like, so there was a little overlap.
When they made light Skittles, I was like, okay.
Yeah, like the light and dark, and then there's like the bright side.
Well, I meant like all the light ones that were like in like the blue bag. Because basically, if you think about it, so it was every color in the red bag, but lighter. Like, it was a lighter color of the... So, like, you had red, and then you had, like... Was it pink?
Yeah.
And then, like you said, purple, but it was, like, a lighter purple. I was just like, come on, guys.
Delicious. I love the blue bag Skittles. And
Red's the best.
Difference of opinion.
Red bag.
Red's too mainstream, man.
I'm... Okay.
For me. I mean,
I'm not off the grid.
I'm not going to turn away a red bag of Skittles.
Listen, I'm not off the grid, so I can't...
If you give me a red bag and a blue bag, I'm going to take the blue one, for one, because I haven't seen a blue bag of Skittles in a while. Yeah. But also, I like the tropical flavors. There's like a punch flavor in there. There's like a banana berry, with like melon mango. I'll take it.
Nerds.
Passion punch.
No, not nerds. Runts.
Banana's the worst.
Oh, absolutely. But do you like runts?
Yeah.
Really?
I don't hate them.
That's fair.
Well, the thing, you put me in a candy store, I'm not coming out with a bag of Runts.
Chewy runts are better.
I don't know if I've had one of those.
Ooh, so good.
Or if it's been a minute. But hard Runts, you give me, honestly, I'd take something else.
Well, that's fair. Hard candy is kind of tough.
Yeah.
It's like Jolly Rancher.
I'd probably take Jolly Ranchers over the bag of Runts.
Yeah.
But you give me a bag of, like an assorted bag of Jolly Ranchers versus a bag of Runts, I'd probably take those Jolly Ranchers.
Worst flavor Jolly Rancher? Green?
No.
Yeah, you like green apple.
I like green apple.
You do. I was about to say you do.
Honestly, probably something strawberry flavored, because some fake strawberry things don't do it for me.
Really?
Yeah. I love citrusy things. I love things that are like sweet and tangy. So like green apples, blue raspberries, pineapple flavored anything. I'll at least try it because I love pineapple. Even though it's none of those things, if I eat too much of it, it makes my mouth hurt.
That's almost everything.
Yeah.
Okay, let me end this episode.
Next movie, we should bring candy for the movie, and then we'll argue about the candy and not watch the movie.
Okay. All right. So, by the way, episode 2, I think I already said that, and then follow us on Twitter at Slushie Review.
We gotta get sponsored for like Mars or some shit with the amount of talking we did about.
Well, that's
candy.
just all chocolate. Fuck that.
Well, is Mars? They did other things.
I don't know. Okay, off topic again. Follow us on Instagram at Slushie Review Podcast and YouTube at Slushie Review. We're going to end this episode where we talk about all the candies in the world. Next episode, Willy Wonka, obviously.
I love candy. I love sweet, sugary candy from the moment it touches my tongue to the minute it's metabolized by the acid in my stomach.
Oh, The Office. Okay, this has been Keith.
And Chris.
We will talk about candy next time.
Yeah.
All right.